host, Scott Ramp, and I'm here to talk about many things that are happening within the city of Missoula and beyond. It is First Friday, and if I end this show in record time, I'll be able to show you a little bit of that First Friday specialness that happens every First Friday of the month. But this month, it would be the second incarnation of the virtual First Friday. I'll talk a little bit more about that when I introduce the clips. Alright, so let's talk about some news. Some big news that are happening. The state of Montana has just passed the 1,000 COVID mark. I mean, of course, as we go into the 4th of July weekend, where family and friends get together, think about germs. And you always want to just kind of think about that for a second. Good. All right. So one of the things that, biggest things that are being encouraged, wearing masks, washing hands. Tell your kids to wash their hands too. Missoula City does not allow for lighting off fireworks during this 4th of July weekend. Many years back, the city of Missoula came together and passed an ordinance, Ordinance 3512. The first penalty is $100+, and the second offense, if it happens within the whole year, it's $300 for a second offense. So within the city of Missoula, you're not allowed to fire off fireworks, but you won't go to jail for it. Moving on, let's talk more about taking down of Confederate statues. So many movements around have been targeting Southern symbols of racism within the communities, and the capital of Virginia, Richmond mayor sought to removal of a statue of a Confederate general, Stonewall Jackson. Mayor LeVar Stoney said he was able to remove it so fast because of the temporary powers granted through the declarations of states of emergencies. The mayor said, It's time to move beyond the lost cause and embrace the righteousness cause. We can be more than just the capital of Confederacy. It's time for us to be the capital of compassion. On the other side, President Donald Trump sought to protect landmarks as he sent federal personnel to ensure no vandalism occurs to national monuments. Part of this began when an attempt to take down the statue of Andrew Jackson in Washington, D.C. prompted an executive order. This order allows the Department of Homeland Security to coordinate with local law enforcement to prevent destructions of landmarks through anarchy and civil unrest. And the one thing that really kind of struck me is that penalties are up to 10 years in prison, federal prison. So those are kind of the things that are happening within the general news in and around. One of the things during City Council is that this is their second week of doing the Ad Hoc committee meetings, and I'll talk a little bit more about that with the response within the Black community within the city of Missoula. They talk a little bit more about how they want to establish a kind of an informational packet, an agenda, gathering information, and figuring out how they're going to root out systemic racism within the city of Missoula. So we'll talk a little bit more about that during the City Council report. But without further ado, I want to throw it over to some new programs that are going to be airing on MCAT this weekend that you guys can check out. Here it is.
And then I had to show you a picture of kind of a typical meal, and the dumplings, those steamed dumplings are the national dish. They're a steamed dumpling that is usually filled with beef or mutton, and that is the national dish of Mongolia. And so the one thing that was interesting there as well, they are huge meat eaters. I think we like to think in the United States that we're big meat eating cultures, but nothing like Mongolia. And because of that, you definitely see some secondary health problems associated with that when it comes to cardiovascular disease. Gallstones are a very big issue as well. So some of that is related just to the diet, but there's that.
When I came to Bonner, old Harry Truman was President of the United States. And Bonner, I'll have to say, it was kind of like a chapter out of Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn. As far as Ed, Bill, myself, as far as we went, we had a heck of a good time out here. Water at that time hasn't changed much. It was a beautiful little town, had board sidewalks. If you ever walk down a board sidewalk in the wintertime, that snow makes a crunch on those board walks. It's unforgettable.
International cooperation makes actually a whole lot more sense in cyberspace because we have no borders in cyberspace, right? Non-state actors are active, and there's a big range of attacks on personal data that I just discussed can be actually also very relevant when they're used for military purposes. And a safer national cyberspace can really only be obtained in a logical world with an international exchange of information about attacks, malicious codes, global encryption, stuff like that. So we've seen that before during the Cold War, right? Nuclear proliferation was really only effectively mitigated with international cooperation, and kind of diminished the security dilemma at the time. And I will make the case that it's actually the same would be true for cyberspace.
It's called the Flathead in British Columbia, the North Fork of the Flathead in the Greater Flathead Basin in Montana, and then the darker orange is the Kootenai River system. You can see the Elk River is an important headwaters tributary to Kootenai. Both of these rivers cross the international boundary. They have their headwaters in the Rocky Mountains and are part of eventually dump into the Greater Columbia River Basin. And despite being very similar in many ways, they also have had very different land management trajectories over time.
We're in it for it, folks. It's time for some Pre-Critic. Pre-Critic is sponsored by absolutely nobody because we don't want to show any kind of favoritism towards one group or another. And speaking of groups, we have a band, a movie about a band. And, you know, you have all the tropes. You got love within the band. It doesn't work out. Big surprise that for the band breaks up. So we're in quite a little love triangle here. And we have band members who date. Never works out. And drags the rest of the band with it, blah, blah, blah. Of course, welcome to the 1980s where punk rock is so big. Love triangles almost have to happen with intense consequences. Of course, they might have some music in there as well, but I don't know. Of course, I imagine they will have a band playing at the beginning as they freeze frame, introduce the character, they flash a name in like bright colors and all that stuff, and introduce the characters by following by a chance of new romance between two of the characters, while at the same time establishing the already made characters. So it's like, this seems like a healthy relationship right here, but why is she stuck with that really crummy guy? Oh wait, they're in their band together. If she breaks up with them, that could ruin the band. So that's kind of like the kind of movie. So you can expect Vienna and the Phantoms to be quite the movie. Up next, we got The Old Guard. So, a group of mercenaries come together for one last job, betrayal, and a fight for survival only to get betrayed again. But not for money, but because you would have done it to me. I'm doing it to you because you would have done it to me. So, death, comic book adaptations that are just kind of how movies treat based on a true story now. It's like based on a graphic novel, based on a comic book. It kind of seems like every time I see something that says based on something, I'm just like, let's do this. So, The Old Guard stars Charlize Theron. Hold on to your butts because they're about to be kicked into third gear, and watch your face because because where we're going, there are no gears. And this is a automatic geared car, so no clutch or anything to make your car stall. Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about. But I guess I did a little thing. I actually looked at the synopsis just a little bit, and it's like apparently they're immortal. So I guess they have to have some kind of superpower since it's a comic book. Speaking of comic books, you like VR, right? You like Marvel. Well, put them together, and you get an Iron Man Marvel game. So Iron Man VR, which stars video game stuff. And so put some TVs, strap them to your face, and enjoy playing as Iron Man as you blast things. But since you're a good guy, you have to be provoked to fight the bad guy. So that's kind of how it works. This isn't your dad's Iron Man. This is your grandpa's Iron Man because he's that old. And have you ever seen old people on VR goggles? Google it. You will not be disappointed. Just look up senior citizens try VR for the first time. It is just phenomenally cute. Oh yeah, and this video game comes out today. Oh yeah. Cool. Alright, so I'm moving on to my next thing, which it's dubbing stuff. I give you an extra long dubbing stuff for you guys for this weekend as well as we go into the 4th of July weekend. So when I come back, let's talk a little bit about some city council stuff right after this new dubbing stuff. Hello? Excuse me. You've been excused. Father. No? Johnny, is that you? I'm sorry to barge in like this, Father, but I'm in need. I'm hungry. Oh, you meet me at a good time. I'm going to get a pizza. Pizza sounds really good. I want a pizza. Oh, and you expect me to pay for it, don't you? I'll pay you back. Oh, you're in college, don't you know? I'm good for it. I'll just have my parents wire me the money. And the money that you had? What did you do with the money that your parents already gave you? I spent it on Whole Foods. I only went there once, but All my money's now gone because of it. You're a healthy boy, aren't you? It was my turn to cook. Oh, I see. Oh, the Irish greens. Oh, the devil's lettuce, I say. Perhaps maybe you should be a little more frugal with your money after all. Oh, I guess I could. Oh, pay for the pizza this time? But know this, Johnny. Not everyone can shop at Whole Foods. Thank you, Father. I really appreciate this. I'll never forget it. I'll make sure you have the best pizza around next time I come in here. Well, the best pizza is only measured in how much pineapple it is on that pizza. Perhaps a pure pineapple pizza would be in order, wouldn't you say? Pineapple is the blood of this church after all. Of course, I could be tempted to add maybe pepperoni to that pizza and some extra cheese. Yeah, the cheese sounds nice. Is there something on your mind? No, it's just... I don't like pineapple on pizza. Nobody does. Oh, don't get carried away now, don't you know? Well, fine, can we get half and half? Oh, not that I'm being so generous. You think you get to choose what you want on the pizza? That's just sinful. Well, not everyone likes pineapple on pizza, don't you know? I'm a small group of people who like pineapple. Well, it must be the same Catholic priest who done... never mind. Forget about it. You're kind enough to order the pizza. I should be kind enough to eat it, no matter how many pineapples are on it. Oh, you know, there used to be a time when there were no pineapples around. Nobody knew what the taste of pineapple. Wow, that sounds a lot like heaven to me. Maybe this pizza can be more traditional. Whoops. No, sir. Don't worry about it. It's just, my religion, after all. So, when were you thinking about ordering that pizza? I was wondering maybe that we can get another piece of pizza with it as well. I don't see why not. Oh, what do you want? Oh, you're writing this down? Great. All right, I want meat lovers with a side of ranch, and maybe you can get some of the stuffed crust stuff that everyone likes has been raving about. If it's not too much trouble. Oh, the Saints. No. That's not too much trouble. Oh, I wish I could go out and pick it up myself. I would be willing to get it and pick it up, maybe, if you want to trust me with some money, and then maybe I can get some drinks as well. Oh, well, perhaps drinks sounds like a good idea. Oh, make sure they double bag the drinks. What do you think I am, an idiot? I can make sure they double bag the drinks, and I'll get 2 really big jugs. I'm sorry, Father. I should have asked what kinds of drinks you wanted. Make sure they're not name brand, and one of them is a pineapple soda. What the hell's wrong with you? Are you crazy? You can't put pineapple on pizza and then drink pineapple. Oh, come on now. First you judged me on my pizza, and now you're judging me on my soda just drinks. I just can't win with you. You just don't like anything. That's not true. I don't like anything. I just don't like pineapple. My money, my rules. If you don't like it, then you don't have to order it. No normal human has as much pineapple as you. You're crazy. Oh, you think I'm crazy, don't you? Well, I'm going to order the pizza, and I'm going to make you get it for me. All pineapple on both pizzas, and you're going to like it. Here I go. I'm going to pick up the phone. I'm going to order the pizza. Boop-a-doop boop. Oh. Ooh. Pizza. Hello, pizza guys. I want a pizza with extra pineapple. They know my number. They got caller ID. Here, I have the money for the pizza. Please. No, don't fret. I don't want your damn pineapple. Well, the pizza's not going to pick it up itself? And I sure as hell's not going to get it. Oh, really? Perhaps maybe I'll go myself and go get the pizza. At least look me in the eye when you're screwing me over. I don't need this pineapple pizza. Pineapple is really good. I like pineapple. I must eat pineapple on all my foods. If I don't have pineapple, then what is the point of living? Well, since you have no point in living, how about you take some of this? that day that I knew that I had to finally get rid of the scourge that is pineapple. God forgive me for what I'm about to do. As I said before, the city of Missoula started community listening sessions. Part of this is to get the city of Missoula to sponsor organizations to host these meetings so they can better adhere to community outcries of, and particularly the first week, they figured out it was geared towards race and reaction and the systemic racism that exists in Missoula. So one of the things that they adhered to this is that they wanted to, the biggest part of the outcry of the citizens was the June 5th incident where a black teen was taken by a white militia group on the grounds that they thought he was up to something. So far, the city's response was to let police handle the situation, but the community didn't think that was good enough. The meeting was called Public Safety and Systemic Racism. They invited many diversity-driven organizations and educational institutes. Myrta Becerra, city council member, spoke on the city's proposal.
We have a proposal that is currently being revised to incorporate ongoing work on this issue in different departments of local government. We're also developing ways to continue to engage with the community as we together move towards sustainable and long-lasting change in Missoula.
One thing that I definitely did notice from these plans is that it kind of reflects the Our Missoula Master Plan for city infrastructure, but with heavy citizen involvement where they present an idea and look into folks with experience with these issues and draft a plan based out of a series of meetings and community engagements. Brian Von Lochsberg talks a little bit more about this in detail.
Project Learn Missoula is still in its formative stage and will undergo several reiterations as the scope of its work is fully defined. And the team not only invites, but requires critical feedback, particularly from our BIPOC community members. The foundational premise of this qualitative research plan is that systemic oppression, particularly white supremacy and racism, exists in Missoula, and BIPOC's lived experiences must be centered in dismantling them, narrated and described through their own voices and from their perspectives. Narrating, describing, and reflecting those experiences through a research lens has power by connecting these experiences to systemic challenges in quantifiable fashion.
Much like Our Missoula and many organizations and many plans that have names to this one is called Project Learn Missoula. It is a community-driven class action deal where they put these, it's kind of a cornucopia of information to help drive change within our community. That's the whole point. They want to figure out where it's happening and how to snuff it out, basically. But when they open up to public comment, the black teen who was involved in the June 5th incident talked about his experience from being profiled by the group of armed white men.
It was scary to me that, the Black Lives Matter protests turned into something completely different, and there's people controlling it with guns and saying that they are protecting the Black Lives Matter protest. And I was there and I was attacked by those people. And, that's all I can say right now.
Public comments pushed the city to create these community listening sessions, but from last week evolved into something that has become a committee. Shaylee Olkins spoke against Project Learn Missoula during public comment, and this is what she had to say.
So this proposal that you guys have, this Learn Missoula that you have, it won't work. We go already and we talk to someone, to get us a solution, and it doesn't work. This won't work because it's the same thing. 12 weeks is not enough to systematically break down the errors that we have within our community, within our state, within our county, within our city officials. I hope you guys all sit down and you ask yourselves what you do every day to be anti-racist. I hope you really do sit down and realize what you actually are trying to propose and how that really is going to affect people like me. Last Wednesday, you said that maybe the quiet ones weren't going to want to come. I'm the quiet one. I won't come. And I know a lot of other BIPOC members that won't come because you're not formulating a proposal based off of already lived experiences.
Shedley spoke in length about how the city only reacted and didn't do the job to protect folks in this community, but how the mayor didn't give a statement on the June 5th incident. Sam Duncan, who lives in the heart of Missoula and has spoken frequently in matters of poverty, Missoula growth policy, spoke on these plans as unnecessary.
There is nothing that a quantitative analysis of Black and Brown suffering can show you that we do not already know. These are facts of existence. And a study is the easy way out. It is the status quo. And what we are looking for is action. A budget is a moral document. Where the city invests its money is a reflection of who matters to you and who does not. And so the correct moral action here is to invest dollars and energy into communities of color and marginalized and oppressed people.
Sam Duncan also stated that the city is failing to curb homelessness and the city shouldn't waste time listening, but fund better programs to help marginalized groups in Missoula. So far, the end of July is when the city is going to be talking about the budget, and they'll finally approve the fiscal year 2021 budget by August. So that's the initial plan for the city of Missoula, and Sam Duncan wants the city to look more into the budget and put funding sources into that kind of thing as well. And here's Mr. Simpson. He talks about how systemic racism affected him in Missoula.
Trust is a big thing that needs to be communicated some way, somehow, and the engagement with reaching out to a pre-approved person that the city council has worked with without much visibility there, or the acknowledgement of work that has been done in the past, and that's through the university, through the city as well. It seems a little shady. I'm gonna call it like it is. It seems a little shady how that engagement came out when people have been putting in work in this community for 20 plus years. You know, there's been work, again, through the university and within the community. People could have been reached out to besides just one contact on this pre-approved list, trying to tackle an issue that's about systemic racism and keeping people like me safe in this community.
Mr. Simpson also mentioned that he was pulled over by police officers at gunpoint in 2 instances since moving to Missoula. The first one was a female officer, and the second time it was a couple officers, and then even more officers came upon him at gunpoint. The city continued to listen to members on the community, with the largest criticism being that the majority of council members are white and are out of touch with Black Missoula. Of course, that being said, these meetings are for the purpose of gathering information and putting them on the record. Anything that's broadcast, talked about during these official meetings are put on the record, using stories many people didn't know, and making sure those stories are shared and evaluated to real change. Many solutions are put into trainings for the police, and in many ways, you have to think about it in terms of carrot and the stick. Do we keep hitting back these issues to beat back racism within the system, or do we figure out a way to incentivize policing within marginalized communities that not only allows for de-escalating situations, but allow folks within the community to also join, much like people can get CPI certified? Perhaps maybe this can be an effective way for people to get training, not only for police officers, but to get a certification to be able to protect and not prevent First Amendment rights. Of course, I don't want to soapbox any longer, so we wrap up this long meeting. You guys can check out this ad hoc meeting. It is available on the City of Missoula's website, ci.missoula.mt.us. You can find out at MCAT, and you can also find all that stuff. But so far, I didn't see another community listening session scheduled for July 8th, but you can watch this meeting from July 1st from YouTube, MCAT, and of course, ci.missoula.mt.us. I'm rushing through this meeting very quickly, and I have not much actually anymore I have to say about City Council, and I also don't have another video to kind of break the segments up, so I'm just going to kind of end my show right here and now. Like always, you can find out more information at mcat.org. I wanted to introduce you guys to a video of the virtual First Friday, so July 3rd. Today is the introduction of the Virtual First Friday. And what the Virtual First Friday does, it allows people to be able to enjoy and appreciate the art within the city of Missoula without worrying about abiding to the social distancing guidelines put in by the state of Montana. And part of this also is to kind of engage in terms of art. So there's a lot of great stuff here as well. MCPS presented a micro concert by many students within MCPS, and they wanted to present it to you. So many of the kids didn't get a chance to play their spring concerts, their final concerts of the 2020 school year. So here's a little taste of that. But for Wake Up Missoula, I'm Scott Ramp. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.
Welcome to the 2020 Arts and Culture Awards presented by Arts Missoula. Each year, Arts Missoula honors individuals and businesses that have made significant contributions to the Missoula's arts and cultural landscape. I'm happy to present this award to John Combs, longtime music teacher, band director, and most recently, fine arts supervisor for Missoula County Public Schools.
Thank you, Arts Missoula, for connecting art, culture, and community through education, advocacy, and celebration. May God bless you all.
Welcome to another chapter of the 2020 Arts and Culture Awards presented by Arts Missoula. With this video, we present the Individual Artist Award for 2020. This award honors an artist who has shown exceptional achievement in the performing, visual, or literary arts throughout their professional career. I am pleased to present this year's award to Margaret Baldridge.
Hello, I'm Margaret Baldridge, and I'm very honored to be receiving the Individual Artist Award this year. I look forward to the next time that I can see all of you either from the stage or just on the street. Thank you again for this great honor.
Hello everybody, I'm Tom Benson with Arts Missoula. And I want to interrupt Virtual First Friday with a little announcement about our Arts Missoula Star Award for July. Now, Missoula is blessed with many regular folks who help make this place a thriving arts community. For the past few years, Arts Missoula has recognized one individual each month as one of those arts stars for their important contribution to Missoula's arts scene. With COVID-19, we took a little break. But we're back, and we're adding to our list of stars that continue to fill Missoula's horizon. Some of our stars are artists, some are musicians, some are business people who give generously of their time and resources. Some are volunteers, people who work behind the scenes and may not be known by the general public. Some are educators who help work with the arts with our students in our schools. Everybody has a place in our galaxy of valued arts supporters. So when the pandemic hit and everything closed down, including our schools, and of course all the performing arts that happens in schools, one Missoula teacher took this opportunity to produce music videos with his colleagues and his students. Randy Zachner, 5th grade band director at MCPS, organized music teachers in the district to participate in remote YouTube videos of I Will Survive Distant Learning and also Imagine and Celebration. And at the end of the year, he produced a video of his 5th grade band students collaborating with local drummer John Wicks for a version of Hand Clap by Fitz and the Tantrums. Before we show it to you, I want to present this month's Arts Missoula star to Randy Zachner, 5th grade teacher at Missoula County Public Schools. So congratulations to Randy.
Thank you, Missoula. It's my honor to be this month's Star Award recipient. As a Missoula resident since 1992, I am privileged and honored to continue the excellent history of arts here in Missoula. Thank you.
And you don't even know. You don't even know. And you don't even know.
LA is a rotating outdoor mural program that is accessible to anyone and everyone who wants to enjoy art.
We have the first 100 block of Missoula that was paved, and the pharmacy building was saved when the Burke remodel was done, and the Uptown Diner has become a beautiful gallery building in downtown Missoula.
And we saw that wall in the alley. I think instantly I said, we've got to have murals on that wall. And I think if I wouldn't have said it, Brian would have said it. And we both just, yes, this is what we must do.
We initially planned to first hang in the fall of 2020, but with the global pandemic and COVID and social distancing and everything, we really felt like the world needed a little more brightness and just a little more hope in it.
One of the great surprises at our opening for LA was that John Engen was able to come out, and we had a formal red ribbon cutting ceremony to open LA despite the pandemic and the social distancing. Everybody was very professional, but excited and joyful at the same time.
We continue to celebrate
art in our community, the value of art, the value of what it brings to the soul, the value of what it brings to the economy, the value it brings to artists, and the value of free and fascinating expression.
Todd is a featured artist of Radius Gallery, and so he readily accepted to have his works used to brighten our walls.
One of the biggest surprises for Jim Todd was not just to see his jazz icons blown up in large format in this alleyway, but one of his students and colleagues, Beth Lowe, a ceramist and emeritus professor at the university, came with her husband, David Horgan, and they were able to play a stand-up bass and an acoustic guitar right in front of the jazz icons in front of Jim Todd.
When we saw the structure, when we saw the drawing, it just said, this has got to be a mural program for the community.
1, 2, 3, snip!
Another hope with Allay is to actually coincide with the Missoula Public Art Committee and the Downtown Association. They already have started plans on doing a lot more street art and murals and just public art in general. And so we thought this really coincided well with bringing that to fruition.
All of this comes together to provide a palette or a backdrop for activation of the alley, following along with Missoula's master plan, lighting, safety, and beauty within the alleyways of downtown Missoula.
It's just a great way to beautify Missoula streets and give back to the community in a meaningful way.
Hopefully, Allay can be a place again in the heart of the city that is a destination, someplace to come see, someplace to remember, someplace to take your selfie.
Hi everybody, I'm Christine Groneberg from the Clay Studio of Missoula, and I'm just finishing up my 2-year residency, so I'm having an exit show, which will be July 10th through the 31st, and we're having an opening reception July 10th from 6 to 9. Here is a little sneak peek of something from the show. I've been working on these Cone 3 earthenware pots, and I like this guy because I think he's kind of playful and feminine. I'm really into these coned lines right now, so I like this texture where the glaze is breaking over the sharp lines and that red clay is coming through. Just kind of nice subtle variation. So I'll have more pots like this in the show. I hope to see you all at the reception. Have a good weekend. Thank you.
Stop by Gallery 709 this first Friday, July 3rd, for Art on a Summer Evening, featuring the works of the Salt Miner Group, consisting of Stephen Gluckert, Bev Gluckert, Karen Rice, Catherine Mallory, Peter Kiefer, and Kathleen Hurley-Paoli. The show is up. I'll have the doors open. The artists probably won't be here, but I have other artists that people can check out as well.
Welcome to Radius Gallery's virtual First Friday. Our latest exhibit is titled I Carry Your Heart and features the work of Rick Jean-Dro, Mel McCudden, who are both from Spokane, and Gabriel Kulka, who lives in Bozeman. This video shows footage inside their exhibit at Radius and presents, in their own words, some of the motivations behind their work. You still have plenty of time to see the exhibit in person. It runs through July 25th. Enjoy the show.
My name is Rick Jean-Dro. I'm an artist by trade. I've been a professional artist, painter mostly, for well over 30 years now. I grew up in a musical family. My dad, all of his brothers, my uncles, play guitar and banjo and violin and stringed instruments like that. I've been told that my colors are so vibrant and so I'm not afraid to use color, and I always loved that. I have to create. I have to paint. I have to, it's like breathing. But I'm a very visual person, and so this is how I express myself, through my hands. I wake up and I see these things in my head that I need to get them out. If absolutely nobody looked at my work, enjoyed my work, or whatever, I would still have to do it. Unfortunately, there are people out there that like my work, which is good, but it's just something that I feel I have to do.
I started when I was about 21 or 22, and I'm 77 now, so I've been at it quite a while. Back in the 50s, I started just doing straight abstract things because that's what everybody's doing in those days. But I gradually kept looking for some kind of an image in the paint. I sit sometimes for a couple hours looking at the underpainting until I see a suggestion of something. Generally human or animal figures, but eventually I always see something. And that's the exciting part when I first find that image. If I was asked to describe my painting, I'd say figurative expressionist. Sometimes anatomy is not quite correct. You know, there might be an extra joint in an arm or something, or the body's too big for the head or vice versa. To me, it makes it more interesting to have it not quite realistic. What I'm after is a real strong presence, and it seems like the stronger vibes that come off the thing are from the darker subjects. You know, some of them aren't happy paintings. That's part of life, you know. Not everything's happy, so, and that's why these things aren't for everybody, and I can understand that. Trying to put something worthwhile into the world. I'm not sure if I'm on the right track or not, but and besides that, I'm sort of addicted to it. I've been painting so long that when I don't work, I don't feel right. It's that much of a part of my life.
I am Gabriel Kulka. So a lot of my work talks about this relationship between people and objects and memory, and of course they're in some ways a fictionalized version of this experience because, well, they're objects themselves. Most of the work is a meditation on manufactured human environments, you know, cities, houses, rooms, but also in our interior environments. There's sort of a negative relationship that people describe with objects in people's lives. And I'm not really sure that it's entirely negative, although it can be negative. You know, we think about cars and, you know, the objects that we consider to represent ourselves. And that's sort of the short story on what my work is about and where I start a piece and what I'm thinking about while I work on them.
Thank you everyone for watching. Please visit radiusgallery.com to view the exhibit virtually and explore the space from the comfort of your home. We are also open our regular business hours Tuesday through Friday from 11 to 6 and Saturdays from 11 to 3. We are sanitizing regularly and taking extra precautions to ensure your safety. We hope to see you soon.
Hi, I'm Ron Murphy, and welcome to Murphy Jubb Fine Art and Virtual First Friday here in July. We're located at 210 North Higgins in the beautiful Higgins Building in downtown Missoula, Montana.
And I'm Kendall Jan Jubb, and we're taking a walk through the flowers this month since June is such a great flower month. We're starting with a couple of my newest paintings of orchids, and not that we have these in our gardens, but I just love painting orchids and actually all tropical flowers. The colors and textures are just so fun to paint. A lot of these flowers are actually from the conservatory in San Francisco, or my own dining room table.
So Fox, okay, moving on.
Okay, and I also love to paint tulips, and we have a lot of tulips in our yard that luckily the deer have left for us. So I like to bring them in and put them in bowls, and this particular bowl is an offshoot of a collection that my mom had that I have painted over and over again. She loved those blue and white bowls and vases. Now we love also to hike and enjoy flowers outside. So I love to hike the rattlesnake, and all these are flowers that are really common up there that you've all seen, I'm sure. And especially lady slippers are one of my favorites. It's amazing how they all work together and almost have a Walt Disney-like quality in the woods. Flowers up here are just incredible. And I love painting verticals also. And like this painting, I started with the delphinium and wanted to work the blues with that red background and that contrast and vibrancy. And then I picked other flowers that seemed to complement that. I have a great joy in creating different pots and vases, and the birds in this vase are fantastical. But the little cat in the terracotta bowl is one of our cats from years ago. And we're going to talk about one more flower painting, which is a pair with a delphinium. I wanted two tall paintings with solid backgrounds, and with the red of the tulips, I wanted to play around with green and kind of a cooler green that would create that vibrancy. And I also have a lot of fun with the vases. A lot of these birds we have seen in our yard or up the rattlesnake and taken photographs of, and I use in all my vases. I love tucking birds in here and there.
Well, thank you, Kendall.
Yeah. I hope you all can come this Friday for First Friday, or drop by the gallery sometime during the week. We're here from 10 to 5 every day.
Thank you very much, Kendall.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Here we are. So, we are at the Dana Gallery, and we have some paintings here by a new artist, Scott Switzer, Fran's father. But we have made a big decision here. We have decided that possibly, since we haven't sold painting in quite a while, quite a few months, probably, I don't know, we have decided to diversify. And I think you all can probably understand why. We have discovered this commodity here, which serves two purposes. It's modern art, and it's toilet paper. I gotta get a drink of this because this is keeping me alive. Whoa! Now, there's been some rumors going around town all the time that we have sold this art gallery, and those rumors may or may not be true. However, they are not true. It is true that we still own this gallery, and we're going to hang on to it and all these great people we got here as long as I live, which could be, you know, a week, or it could be more than that. Let's see.
This is artist Kevin Redstar out of Roberts, Montana, our very own. He is one of the leading 5 Native American painters in the country right now, internationally recognized for his crow portraiture and his Native American teepees. He also won the Governor's Choice Award for Montana back in 2018, which is really amazing. He also is nationally known, and Sotheby's, based out of New York, had him come into a flat a couple years ago and actually paint the New York City skyline for them.
I'm going to show you this Robert Moore here. So Robert was my favorite artist for years and years and years. I just can't say enough about him. This is a bit of a departure for him. And he was also a winner of the Idaho Governor's Award for Visual Arts.
This is a great new piece by artist Garth Williams from Idaho. And thanks to Robert Moore. Robert is such a great guy, and besides celebrated artist, he is a magnificent mentor. And when Garth retired, he told me, he's like, I'm moving into Robert's studio. I've always wanted to paint. And it's extraordinary to see how well he's achieved that.
All right, it's one of my favorites, our David Wilson, local Missoula artist. He taught Spanish for quite a few years, but has always painted, and has won numerous awards, humanitarian awards and whatnot. So anyway, I love his work. That's all I have.
Yeah, I just want you to know how much everybody's been pitching in here. For example, we have one of our best staff members just pitched in and started doing a job that nobody else would do. Oh, I got caught again. Oh, I got caught again. I've gotten so attached to this. It makes me happy too, besides killing germs. Okay, but I could give you guys a demonstration while I do this. You just go round and around and around, and it's been kind of plugged up lately. For example, the other day I unplugged it and there was that shoe, and then, oh my God, what is this thing? My God. Oh, it's some kind of a thing you wear on your hat, isn't it? Huh? It's dripping though, and it's probably not very clean water. Now I'll have to use Lysol again, so you guys can, but anyway, thanks for showing me. In the first place, if you buy more than $50,000 worth of art, you get 1/2 of 1% off. I don't want to forget to mention that. But then we have our young art collectors. Anybody 35 or under can take any painting home. They have to pay nothing down, and they have over a year to pay for it, which is pretty darn good. Okay, this is painted by Scott Switzer, who is originally from Billings. Studied art with Robert Moore actually at the Pasadena Art Center, which at the time at least was the top teaching facility in the country. And then Scott and Robert have been friends forever. And Scott's lived almost everywhere, and now living in Sandpoint, Idaho.
Here we have young artist Caleb Meyer, a Missoula local here, and he is one of our youngest painters, professional painters here in the gallery. A couple years ago he won the 21 under 31 artists feature in Southwest Art, which is pretty amazing. There's a lot of fabulous artists that they featured in there. Also, Caleb was he studied under Robert Moore down in Idaho for some time, so you can really see Robert's influence as far as the application of paint goes on here, but Caleb has really taken his own eye and just is running with it. We miss Missoula.
Check out our website.
Check out our website, and we may do a quick run here of our basement so you can see what we have in our basement, which is a treasure.
Next time you visit the Dana Gallery, come visit the Treasure Trove, our second level down here in the basement.